There's been a lot of chatter about the second Trump impeachment. Now, some claim it's constitutional, while others say no. The word unprecedented seems to be in just about every article about the topic. I think it's time we look at what the Constitution says about the topic before we make up our minds. So we'll do that next on the Constitution Study.
One thing you have to know wherever you make your stand came from a long through line of everyday Americans.
Hello there, everyday Americans. Paul Engel here with the Constitution Study, where we read and study the Constitution and we teach the rising generation to be free. I am glad you could join me. Things have been real interesting in 2021. I've got a couple of speaking engagements. I'm going to be at a couple of homeschool events. So check the calendar on the website and see if I'm coming to an event near you. If you have an event you'd like me to go to the website and just contact me or put in a speaker request. It's nice to actually get out and about and talk to people again, which is something I really missed in 2020. I'm also encouraged to see the number of people joining the Constitution Scholars. That's a group where we can get together and read and study and teach together. You can find people in your area, in your state, and we can discuss topics related to that. So if you want to try it out, it's absolutely free. Just head to constitutionscholars.com for more. With that, let's talk a little bit about Trump's second impeachment. Let's start by dispelling a myth about this trial. Quote, "The upcoming Senate impeachment trial against former President Donald Trump is a first-of-its-kind proceeding, and legal scholars have expressed mixed opinions about its constitutionality." Close quote. Now, as I frequently tell you, don't trust the headline. While the first paragraph of this article claims this is a first-of-its-kind proceeding, halfway through the article, the author lists 3 historical examples of impeachment trials of people after they had left office. So is this really a first-of-its-kind proceeding? Is it truly unprecedented?
You keep using the word. I do not think it means what you think it means.
Well, from the Free Legal Dictionary, we read the precedent is, quote, "a court decision that is cited as an example or analogy to resolve similar questions of law in later cases." So is this Senate trial a first-of-its-kind proceeding? Well, yes and no. This is the first time any president has been impeached twice. In fact, I know of no other person in history that has ever been impeached more than once. So yes, it is an unprecedented event to have a second Senate trial for a single person. But is that the context for this phrase? No. The fact that this is the second impeachment of Donald Trump is not even mentioned in this particular article. Since the writer of this article specifically lists 3 previous instances of the question of trying a former officer of the United States, let's take a look at them. First, we have Senator William Blount. Now, in 1798, Senator Blount was accused of conspiring to give the British control over Florida and parts of Louisiana. Now, then they were held by the Spanish and the French, respectively. When Senator Blount's actions were found out, he was impeached by the House, only he was expelled by the Senate according to Article 1, Section 5, before his impeachment could be tried. Quote, "Each House may determine the rules of its proceedings, punish its members for disorderly behavior, and, with the concurrence of 2/3, expel a member." Since the Senate expelled Mr. Blount before his trial, the lawyers argued he could not be tried because he was no longer a senator. That argument failed, and the subsequent Senate trial acquitted Mr. Blount. See, then we have federal Judge George English. Now, in 1926, Judge English resigned shortly after being impeached. While the House argued there was little point in proceeding with the impeachment, the House managers noted that, quote, "the resignation of the respondent in no way affects the right of the court of impeachment to continue the trial and hear and determine all charges." Now, the Senate dismissed the case shortly thereafter. Now, the last one is ex-Secretary of War William Belknap. Probably the case most people point to for impeaching an officer of the United States after they left office is the case of Mr. Belknap. Mr. Belknap, then Secretary of War for President Grant, was found attempting to sell a post as an Indian agent. When this was revealed to the House, Belknap quickly resigned before he could be impeached. However, the House impeached him anyway. The Senate debated the question for quite some time before voting 37-29 that it did have the power to try an ex-officer. While Belknap was narrowly acquitted, it was believed that there were sufficient votes for conviction if he was still in office. So far from unprecedented, the act of impeaching and trying someone who is no longer in office is not new in America. The question remains, though, Is it constitutional? From Article 2, Section 4 of the Constitution, we read, quote, "The President, Vice President, and all civil officers of the United States shall be removed from office on impeachment for and conviction of treason, bribery, or other high crimes and misdemeanors." If impeachment is the process for removing someone from office, how can you remove someone from office who's not currently in office? So I agree with those who say that the House has no power to impeach someone who is not the President, Vice President, or a civil officer of the United States. While the House has the sole power of impeachment, I know of no one who suggests that they have the power to impeach an ordinary citizen. That certainly brings into question the legitimacy of the impeachment of William Belknap. However, as with Senator Blount and Judge English, Donald Trump was impeached while still in office. Is it constitutional for the Senate to try a case to remove someone who has already left office? Well, the Constitution doesn't say specifically, but it does in Article 1, Section 3, Clause 6 state, quote, "The Senate shall have the sole power to try all impeachments." Furthermore, trying someone who has already left office may not be as moot as some might think. From Clause 7, quote, "Judgments in cases of impeachment shall not extend further than to removal from office and disqualification to hold and enjoy any office of honor, trust, or profit under the United States." Since the judgment in impeachment can extend not only to the removal from office, but to disqualification from holding office again, there is a legitimate reason to try an impeachment for someone who leaves office before the trial. Ultimately, the decision rests with the Senate whether to try the impeachment of Donald Trump or not. Not only has the Senate decided to proceed with the trial, they acknowledge that Mr. Trump is no longer the president since they have not appointed Chief Justice Roberts to preside over the trial, according to Article 1, Section 3, Clause 6. Quote, "When the President of the United States is tried, the Chief Justice shall preside." Where does that leave us? Or more importantly, where does it leave Mr. Trump? Since he was impeached while still in office, it is up to the Senate to deal with it. Since Democrats currently control that House of Congress, I was not the least bit surprised when they scheduled the trial. I can imagine the Democratic Party doing whatever they can to prevent another Trump administration. With the Senate so evenly divided, though, I doubt that the two-thirds majority of the members present will vote to convict him. Of course, if Mr. Trump is acquitted, he may be allowed to run for office again. Who knows, at that point, he may become the first person impeached 3 times. More importantly, at least to my mind, this is another opportunity to dispel the myths flying around like bats in a cave. Please look at this as a chance to correct the misinformation you're receiving from others. This is not unprecedented. It is not even unique. This is the 4th time in history that an impeachment has been tried after the person has left office. Perhaps in some small way, you can tone down the rhetoric and partisan bickering with just a little bit of facts, common sense, and reason. So those are the facts, and just the facts, on the second impeachment trial of Donald J. Trump. Now, whether you like President Trump or hate him, the Constitution says he's been impeached. It is the role of the Senate to try it. And regardless of whether you think he's going to be convicted or not, it's still their job to try the case. Now, if Mr. Trump is convicted, it is likely they will censure him from ever holding office again. But I'm not really sure that's going to happen. Most importantly, though, these are facts and information you can use, hopefully, to help tamp down some of the overheated rhetoric, some of the misinformation and hyperbole that's going around. This is not unprecedented. Let's stop treating it like something that's never happened before. Most of all, by having knowledge, by getting information directly from the source, maybe we can inoculate ourselves from some of the craziness that's going on. So I hope you found this interesting. I hope you'll participate more in the Constitution study. Head over to the website, constitutionstudy.com. Maybe just sign up, get your free book, or get the newsletter that I deliver once a month. I only send it out once a month, and occasionally some announcement I'll send out that way. But this is where you can keep informed with what's going on in the Constitution study. And best of all, you don't have to worry about YouTube and Twitter following the role of Facebook and banning me from getting my message out. I'm also encouraging everyone to head over to constitutionscholars.com, register for your free account. It's absolutely free. You get access to classes, to recordings of my webinars, to a free library, most way you get in touch with other people who are interested in the Constitution as you are. They're interested in their rights. They're interested in their liberties. So join the group about the U.S. Constitution. Heck, join the group for your state, and let's start engaging. Let's start participating. Let's start talking about what we can do. And again, if you want me to come speak to you, one of your groups or at one of your events, whether in person or over the web, just contact me. You can message me through the Constitution Scholars. You can contact me through the Constitution Study. In any case, let's learn for ourselves how we can protect our rights and liberties in the face of what's been going on the last few years. And hopefully you'll find it useful enough. You'll come back here and we'll see you at the Constitution Study.
There's one thing you have to